From stinger bars that come straight from the set of Mad Max, twin snorkels on a Hilux. These are the mods that people slap on their 4Bs thinking they're cool. Well today, buckle up because we're going to roast the absolute worst mods that you can do on a 4-wheel drive. All right, we love a good mod. Everybody does. It's part of the fun. It's in the name of our channel. We love it that much. But look, let's get down to it. Some just don't hit the mark. Whether you've been given some poor advice, whether you just think it looks tough, or whether you just have a trend on TikTok or Insta you want to follow and you think, well, these things look tough but offer nothing on the track. First up is the stinger bar. Now you'll see these things in America mostly, thankfully. They're either a fashion statement or they're to look tough. They're 100% useless in my opinion. Now these things, you see them on the front of Jeeps a lot. They're meant for comp trucks, for real hardcore weapons that aren't road registered. I suppose they're supposed to make it so if you roll over, they protect and all this stuff. If you're doing that every weekend, happy days, you absolutely need one. But for the street, there's absolutely no need for that, or even just a normal road registered 4-wheel drive. Probably shouldn't be there. Luckily for us, they're not ADR compliant, so you won't see many in Australia. They do affect the approach angle. They add a lot more weight to the front of your bull bar, so you're gonna sag a bit, and they're gonna be really unpredictable in a crash. So it's not something that I probably want on the front of my car to protect me when it's not probably gonna do what we want it to do. Get yourself a decent bull bar, does a way better job, leave it at that. Next on our list, fake beadlocks. Now look, so let's talk about it. What is a beadlock? Beadlock's going to actually physically screw your tire onto your rim so you can go right down to those real low pressures if you're stuck on the beach or you're doing gnarly rock climbing stuff. Again, comp truck territory. Again, not legal in Australia. Now, I'm guilty of it. I used to have them. These are all for cosmetic looks only. When you have them all around the rim, they're pretty hard to clean. And I gave my set to Andy eventually, and when he had them, by the time he got them, all the bolts were all rusted, so we had to go down to the bolt shop and buy a whole new bolts and put them in to make them look half decent. When you're cleaning them, they're a nightmare. If you're gonna do beadlocks, there is new technology that I've seen, I haven't used it, that I think goes from the inside. There's some tire, some special like inflatable insert you get into tires now to help that. I don't know, I saw it somewhere. If you're touring or just weekend warrior, get a good set of steel wheels or even alloy. Steely I like because you can bang them back into shape if you do some damage out on the track. And these are legal. Get a good set of good quality tires. You can drop them down, the sidewalls will be nice and strong, and off you go. Let's talk about high lift jacks. Now high lift jacks can be amazing. They can lift your rig out of a hole if you've got the proper recovery points for it. They are a great piece of kit, but if you don't know how to use them, they can be super, super dangerous. You see them running around on the roof of a car. They don't have any points on their bull bar or on their side steps to actually receive the high lift jack. You'll see on the bull bar that has it, on our side step that has it, they have a little T-slot. That's what the recovery jack, that's what the high lift jack goes into. If you use it without those, you're just asking for trouble. It's going to be super dangerous. See, a lot of people have the high lift jacks on the roof and they look prepared when they're not actually prepared, because that won't do anything because they can't use it. So a high lift jack for me, I don't like them personally. I'd rather have a good bottle jack to lift the car up, maybe put some wood underneath it to get a bit of height, or if it's just for recovery, get the max tracks out, get the winch out. I'm not a fan. Now, do you have a mate who's thought of doing this, or have a mate who's done it? We're talking about twin snorkels. If you want to do deep water crossings, or want cooler, cleaner air into your engine, a snorkel is the thing for that. One snorkel sealed into your airbox, nice big ram air in, be it a Steno, be it one of these Safari ones, whatever it is. These are a good modification to your vehicle. What's not good? Putting a second one on the other side, the Bluetooth snorkel that's hooked up to nothing. Why would you do that? I know the idea is to look symmetrical and look tough, but unless you're running a big V8 or a custom engine that's got twin air boxes and both snorkels are actually directing air into the engine, you're not using it. And if you're not using it, it's just adding extra weight, extra complexity. Look, send this to one of your mates who's thinking of getting one. Don't do it, because it just looks silly. If it's not capped off at the end, you're probably just dragging more air and dust and water into the engine that you don't want to put in there. So for me, it's a hard no. So next on my hit list is the good old Spotties and light bar and light combinations. Now, a pair of Spotties and a light bar is fine, but you see some, they've got Spotties, they've got LED light bars in here, they've got another LED light bar behind the grille, they've got one on the roof bar, another two on the rooftop tent, they got some on the side of the bonnet shining out. That's all well and good if you're scared of the dark, but think how much power you're drawing from your batteries. If you're not running them through a dedicated battery, you're all sorts of power issues there. Plus, any up on the roof, as I've experienced, if you've got a white bonnet like I do or a lighter cut up bonnet, you're just going to get glare at night time. I took my roof LED bar off because of that. I will go back to another one though, but a good set of spotties that are properly adjusted, spot on a flood, and maybe a light bar with a spot on a flood is probably all you need. If you've got 15 spotties at the front and 4 light bars on the roof and another couple of light bars under the bull bar, what good's it doing? You can't get brighter than bright. You're just looking like an idiot in my book. Don't do it. Okay, let's talk about the first thing that most new 4B owners do is they get their car and they whack the biggest tires on that they can get. Now, yes, it looks tough, but it actually doesn't do any good. You're going to get into an absolute rub fest. You're going to have to get the angle grinder out in the front wheels to probably grind away some bits that the wheel's hitting. You might have to chop the bull bar a bit. You might have to chop the mud guards a bit to make them all fit. On the back, you might have bump stop issues. You're going to think you're going to get more clearance, whereas in actual fact, because your car's already probably limited up a little bit, you might not get any more clearance at all. And honestly, it doesn't help, because every time you turn on full lock, you're going to rub. If you're off-road, as soon as you go into those first couple of ruts or bumps, it's going to start rubbing. You're going to cringe because your new car's getting all scraped from underneath because it's your fault. Get a big set of tires if you like, but make sure you get suspension to suit it first. Otherwise, you're just going to do the negative. You're going to do the opposite of what you should be doing. Get the suspension lift. You're going to run small tires. You're going to miss leg day. It's going to look like that, but that's okay. Live with it. Save up for bigger tires. Then put the bigger tires on. Then you're going to have a weapon on the tracks. Let's talk about the angry headlight covers. Now, nothing strikes fear into nature more than a Jeep with angry headlight covers. What good are they doing? They cover half the light up for a start, so you're not going to be as bright. I know I'm sounding old, I'm not. Angry light, why? Get bright lights, don't cover half of the map. So this one's for the Instagram GQ Flex crowd mostly. It's an anti-mod, so you actually take stuff off from factory that they put on for a reason. We're talking about sway bars. Now, if you take your sway bar off, you're going to look like this big wallowing lump that goes around the corner, gets wheel lifts at the roundabout at Woolies because you haven't got the sway bar in. Your fridge is going to end up in your passenger seat. The sway bars are there for a reason. They keep your tires planted on the ground when you're turning corners. If you've got to do an emergency turn on the road and you got a sway bar in, you're in all sorts. Okay, you can get around all this. You can get sway bars that disconnect. You can get a suspension tune properly set up for your vehicle to give it as much flex as you need. If you've got a cruiser, you might want to put coils in the back. There's stuff you can do that's still safe, because the last thing you want to do is be driving all this car that you spent all this money on and saved up for, and you just can't turn a corner because you haven't got your sway bars in on or off road and you're going to crash. So just be sensible about it and don't do it. Now, this one you see more than you think. It's the whittle watter that's on the back that goes up to nothing. It's okay if you've got a roof rack, a rooftop tent, or you got an awning up there, but you see a lot of these tours that have the little ladders on the back that go up just so they can look at their paint on their roof, or they can stand on top and go, look at the big 4-wheel drive I've got. They don't do anything. It's like putting a ladder outside your house on a single-story house, like putting a ladder outside to the second story that doesn't go anywhere. That's probably not something I'd want to do. They just look silly. There's a big trend on Instagram for it, and I don't think it's going anywhere. It's not something I would ever do. If you want a ladder, get it for the rooftop tent. At the end of the day, your 4-wheel drive should work for you, and you'll know what's best for it. But look, you're going to make mistakes. Everybody does. You're going to build your first couple of rigs. You're going to put stupid stuff on it, and then you're going to go, why did I do that? Just learn from it and don't put stupid stuff on that you don't need. Twin snorkels is the first thing that would come to my mind. Form follows function, so just put on what works and it'll look good eventually, because you'll have all the right gear on there and it'll be purposeful looking. And do send this to one of your mates. If he or she starts putting all this stupid stuff on, just send them and say, no. Right, drop some comments. Give me some of the worst things you've seen on a 4B, or some of the things you've done that you shouldn't have done to your 4B. And give me a like if you've laughed or you kind of like this video. And also, please do subscribe, because it really does help the channel. And we'll see you in the next one.